morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy to have you into the stream today. I am going to jump right into a couple things I wanted to show you guys. I didn't get to stream last week, unfortunately, because I had to work on Monday. But I'm excited to be back. If you are new, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. You can always feel free to say hi in the chat. I would love to talk with you, or you can just lurk and watch if you'd like. But I wanted to show you guys my bullet journal spread for March, because it's March 9th today, I think. And since I didn't get to stream last week, I didn't get to show you. But I finished it up, and it is bright and beautiful. I am speaking in the spring weather. So here's all the different pages of it. And then I've been using my bullet journal a lot more for like actually journaling and stuff too. So a lot of my pages are like just journal notes and thoughts and things like that. But also, if you haven't noticed, my voice is a little bit rough today. I had a full day yesterday of leading worship at church, and then we were working on some stuff for our songs that we're recording, so I was singing pretty much all day and then talking to a bunch of friends, and it was the best day ever, but it was a long day of using my voice. So I'm going to try to I'd like to say I'm going to try to not talk a ton, but I love chatting with you guys, and that's kind of the point of this stream. So I will definitely be talking. It's just if my voice cracks or whatever, you know why. Something else that I wanted to show you guys was a game that I made. I didn't create the game, but I just made a version of it because I didn't want to buy it. It's called That's Not a Hat. And I first saw it on the Smosh Games channel, and it's basically just these cards with a bunch of objects on the back, and I literally hand drew all of these random objects for the game, and then on the back is a bunch of arrows, and you basically just sit in a circle with your friends, and you all the cards end up being face down so you can't see the objects, and the goal is to try to remember what the objects are on the back, and you have to pass them the direction of this, and you can call each other out if you don't think that they're passing the right thing, whatever. But I was just really proud of the fact that I made the game, and it was kind of a fun process. So I just wanted to show you that. If you want to buy the game, definitely go do that. I'm pretty sure you can get it on Amazon or wherever, but just thought that was fun that I made a game. And we played it with my friends on Friday night, I think, and it was super fun. So anyways, I think we will just dive right in. I would love to finish this book today, but I don't know how plausible that is. I'm currently on page 220, and there is, please hold, 354, so I'd need to read 130-ish pages, 133, which I could definitely do. It just depends on how much I talk and how much and how quickly I read. But so yeah, I'll just dive right into it. I am reading The Passion Project. Basically, this girl is living in New York. She went through a really bad or a really traumatic event. Her ex-boyfriend died in a car accident, and she's living in New York because that was kind of his dream for them. But she is just kind of lost, and she is still dealing with like depression and anxiety and all the different things. She doesn't know what her passion is. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life. She runs into this guy named Henry. She was set up on a blind date. She ends up standing him up, but then they end up meeting just naturally, and they become friends, and he is like, let me help you find what you're passionate about. Let me help you enjoy New York, all these different things. And so they embark on the Passion Project once a week. They start to do these fun things, like random, what's the word? Random, not exercises, random, Anyways, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's the premise. And for the life of me, I cannot remember what the girl's name is now. I think it's Katie. No, I don't know. Anyways, I'm just going to get into it. If there's anything that you guys have questions on or I need to explain, let me know and I will do that. And obviously, as always, I will react, I will talk, I will stop and tell you guys what's going on or explain things or have a commentary because that's what I like to do. So I'm going to jump in. Again, feel free to say hi in the chat if you'd like. You can react to my reactions. You can read your own book while you're going. You can read along. You can, just have this on in the background, whatever you'd like to do. All right, here we go. Chapter 22. Okay, yes. Literally, first paragraph gives me a good little synopsis. So she's at the point now where her ex-boyfriend, who died in the car accident, his sister was her former best friend. And she, after the ex-boyfriend died, she, kind of went through a whole spiral of just cutting everybody out. And so she hasn't talked to the sister in a really long time, but the sister sent her wedding invitation and she hadn't opened it, had thrown things away, had not responded to texts, whatever. But then she finally is like kind of starting to heal a little bit. And so she finally was like, okay, she opened the invite. And then now she just invited Henry to the wedding. And she says, I invited my new friend, whom I sometimes want to kiss, to my dead ex-boyfriend's sister's wedding. Oh, and by the way, the dead ex-boyfriend's sister is also my ex-best friend, whom I've basically ghosted since his death. So that's where we're starting on this chapter. Oh, and then she has Sonia is her like current best friend basically and roommate, and they just recently had kind of like a making up after they had a really big fight. And so they're up on the roof like talking about all the things, and they're asking her like, does she like Henry? Does she want him to be her boyfriend? All these different things. Oh my gosh, this is so classic. I love this. See, this is what happens. I start reading and there's so many things that I want to talk about. First thing, they're asking her if she likes him, and they're like, okay, let's start small, because she's talking to her roommate and her roommate's girlfriend, and the roommate and friend, like best friend, is being the one that's like the girly, like, oh, you like him, and like, do you want him to be your boyfriend, like teasing her. And Jamie is more like the grounded, okay, let's start small. Do you like spending time with him? Okay, you like spending time with him, great. What do you like about him? And it just made me think, I think one of the biggest indicators on how you feel about somebody, or how, like, if you're observing other people, how they feel about somebody else, is how they speak about them. Especially when it's a like potential, relationship or whatever. The way that they speak about them is a huge indication. And it's not a hard and fast rule, like obviously not 100% of the time is this the case, but I also think that regardless, if there would ever be a relationship in the future possible, that baseline should always be there of how they talk about them, because that's something that you'd always want in your relationship, is that you talk about them incredibly to other people. But anyway, so she's like listing off all the things that she likes about him. But then just the reality of like when you're talking to your friends about guys or whatever, or somebody that you like, there's inevitably one person that's always going to give you crap about it and like make fun of you, but like out of a loving place. And then another person's going to be like grounded about it. So I just thought that was funny. Oh, okay. I forgot about this too. So they, I think the conflict, because the reality is that every romance story, movie, book, doesn't matter, is always, there's like a lead up to the relationship, boy gets girl, boy loses girl, boy gets girl back. Or, it could be the other way around. Girl gets boy, girl loses boy, girl gets boy back. Ugh. So there's always a conflict somewhere in the book where they like have a big fight and they like almost don't end up together, but then they end up together in the end. And I have a feeling that the conflict is going to be something to do with the overlapping of friendships, because there's been a couple drops of there's a potential that her friends know Henry and have like a history with Henry, and I don't know what that means, but I think something's gonna happen with that, and she's gonna freak out that nobody told her, and it's gonna be this whole thing. Because Jamie is asking her or telling her, you should tell him that you like him, and she's like, he likes you back, I promise. And Bennett says, how do you know that? She clears her throat, retreats to her chair, which is avoidance. I have a feeling based on everything you've told me. Which is a little bit suspicious. So I feel like it's either, I don't know, like they're related or they have a history or they're just good friends and they just didn't tell her. Like, I don't know what's going on. But anyways, I digress and we continue reading. We love a friend that can just speak truth. Jamie says, I mean this in the absolute kindest way possible, but you need to get over yourself. Okay, so it was her turn to pick the passion project outing, and she had an epiphany and decided to do a skyscraper climb thing. Like they put you in harnesses and strap you to the outside of the like top of the skyscraper and you climb up to the very top. And he's petrified of heights, so he's like freaking out. I can't say I would be not scared, but I don't know if I'd be as scared as he is. Like, I don't like heights, but I don't know if there's like safety precautions and stuff, because like I've bungee jumped and it was scary as heck. Like, it took me a second, but also you're jumping off of something versus just climbing up something, so I think it's a little different. But anyways, okay, this is so random but also kind of related. Well, is it related to what I just said? Anyways, I did this, if you didn't notice, because I have this new thing over the last, I think, couple months with my boyfriend and some of our friends, where if we're having a conversation and somebody has a thought that they don't want to forget, but you don't want to interrupt the person, you do this and just put your finger to your head. So then it helps you remember what your thought was and what you're going to say. But then also it shows the other person, without being rude, that you have something to add, so they can still finish their thought, but then you can remember it here. And sometimes even I'll put my finger here and because it might be a thought that's not necessarily directly related or in response to what the person is saying. And so I can respond to something, but then this really helps me remember, because sometimes I have a hard time remembering things. So I will do this, but I did that just then because I had the thought. The other thing I was going to tell you guys about at the beginning when I was going through all the things was that I started a Substack, and I am really excited about it because it's going to be just another way for me to create. And if you haven't heard of Substack, it's like, you can use it as like an email newsletter, but it's also kind of like a social media platform for writers, kind of, because you can post like longer articles, longer things that you've written, but you can also do shorter posts, kind of like social media, and you can kind of just scroll through the feed. And you can subscribe to people. People can do different subscriber tiers and all the different things. But basically, I wanted to start it because I want to work on writing more again. And so I I posted an article last week as my first one. Um, and I'm really excited to keep writing. I want to post at least once a week. I already have a couple like backlogged ideas of like articles, topics, and things that I want to write, but wanted to share that with you guys because if you would love to just subscribe, it's same thing, Time to Laugh 34 over there. So if you want to check me out on Substack, that would be awesome. And then I also started an Instagram page for this, just kind of this journey of creation. I'm trying to make everything pretty uniformly Time to Laugh 34. So I've got this Twitch channel, I've got my Substack, and then I've got the Instagram. The Instagram does have a dot in between Time to Laugh and 34, so it's Time to Laugh dot 34. But if you want to go follow me over there, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to try to post more clips and post more things, and that'll kind of be my like home base for all the creation things. So it'll be where I post clips from my Twitch streams. It'll be where I post stories with the links to my Substack. I have my Substack link in the Instagram bio. So if you want to go check that out, I would really appreciate it. And you can subscribe there, follow me. Give me some thoughts, questions, whatever. I'd love to answer some things if you guys want to get to know me a little bit more. Obviously, we can chat. You can do that here as well. But just wanted to give you another avenue into some of the things that I'm creating. So, anyways, again, that was a crazy tangent. I don't know why I thought of that just then, but here we go. They're about to climb a building. Oh, that's so cute. They're up there and they're both terrified, but she opens her eyes and he still has his eyes closed because they're both scared. And she says, "You want me to describe it to you?" So she starts talking about it. And she says, "Being up here makes me feel small, but being with you makes me feel significant." That's so cute. Oh my gosh, they're having a moment. She's noticing all the little details about him and she's falling in love with him. Oh. Oh, he asked her on a date. That's so cute. Girl, he didn't reject you. That's my. Oh, I hate it when people do that. She went to go kiss him in the bathroom and he stopped her from kissing him, but it wasn't because he didn't want her. It was because it was just a bad situation. And she had said at the beginning that she's not looking for anything. And he knows that she has trauma. So he was like, this is not good, not right now. And she flipped out about it. I was like, he rejected me. He doesn't love me, whatever. That's so true. She's talking about how nervous she is because he asked her on a date and like basically just trying to redo their first date, like starting over. And she's talking about how nervous she is, and she's like, "But why am I nervous? This is what Henry and I do. We hang out, we spend time together. Like, why is it's different? Nothing's different, but also everything's different." And that's so true. That's kind of what happened with my boyfriend and I because we had been like talking and getting to know each other for like a month, but then when he asked me out on a date, our first official date, it was like there was definitely a level of like a little bit of awkwardness to it just because having it be a date like puts it into that territory of like, okay, there's a little bit of pressure, but I mean obviously it was still fun and it was so great, and over the course of the date as time went on we got a lot more comfortable. But it's just funny how like that one little shift, which is a big shift, but that one shift can like change the dynamic at least for a little bit and just make you so nervous. But that's also fun. That's the joy of getting to know somebody better and like exploring if a relationship is the right thing. And there's so much fun in that because it's somebody that you are getting to know and somebody that you could spend the rest of your life with, who knows. But it should always be fun. It should never be too much pressure. It should never be something that is like an end all be all, especially early on. Like when you're going on dates, don't put pressure on yourself. Like you're just getting to know them. At the very least, I mean, you guys could be friends. It's not like if it doesn't go super well or you're not, attracted to each other or interested in each other in that way that you can't be friends or that you just would never see each other again. But anyways, I digress again. Oh no. Her phone's dead. She's just about to get off. She has to leave right on time. Something's gonna happen that's gonna delay her. She's not gonna be able to show up to the date, and he. Oh no! Is this gonna be the conflict? I feel like it's too early though. Okay, here we go. We gotta read. Oh no! Oh no! Okay, I'm very interested to see how this plays out though, because that sucks. She probably should have charged her phone. I get, I mean, at this early stage, like, I wouldn't, like, she needs to keep her job. Sorry, let me rewind. So basically, she's at a job, because what she does for work is basically works, what's it called? She's like a floater. So she works for this company and they kind of just like give her random jobs that they need people to help with. But she got put on probation because things, one of the jobs that they put her on, her boss was a jerk. But she kind of went AWOL a little bit. And so she's on probation, and so they do probationary checks. And she's about to get off work, and of course, there's a probationary check for her. So she has to go into the office, answer a bunch of questions, whatever. But if she doesn't do the check, she loses the job. And so she's like, I have to do this. But her phone dies, so she can't text Henry that she's going to be late. And so now it's 7 minutes past when she was supposed to be there. But also from his perspective, like, that sucks. But once she explains it, hopefully he'll understand. So hopefully he's not a drama queen, but here we go. Uh-oh, it's happening. It's happening. All the things are happening. Okay, okay, okay. So she's rushing, she's rushing, she's rushing. She gets to where they were supposed to meet. He's not there. She runs into the like Italian place that's next door where she ended up meeting Henry. She knows a couple of the people there, and then who's actually sitting at the bar is Jamie, her roommate's girlfriend. So she knows Jamie sitting at the bar, and then Sarah who's working, and and then Sarah reveals that Jamie was the one that asked Henry to go out with her in the first place. Oh no. Oh no. She's gonna freak out. See, this is what happens when you lie. Oh my gosh. So basically, Jamie knew Henry because they worked together for a while. She covered a bunch of his shifts when he moved back to Denver to be with his family. And so when he came back, he owed her a favor, kind of, but Sonia was complaining about Bennett and how she was sad and thinking about leaving New York. She wanted her to stay, so Jamie was like, why don't we set her up with Henry? Had Henry create a dating profile and use the profile to swipe until she found Bennett, because you can like narrow the preferences or whatever. And then it went from there. So she was like, it was very informal. She didn't tell him a bunch of details. It wasn't a conspiracy, but they still set it up and lied to her about knowing him and all the different things. So Oh, it's my the miscommunication, like lying trope, or that being the cause of the conflict in books, is my nemesis because it's the most realistic and often the most visceral and story provoking, but it's also the most annoying because I'm just I hate it. I just want to be like, just tell the truth. Lying doesn't help anybody ever. Lying doesn't help anybody ever. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Because now she's questioning everything. She's questioning every interaction she's had with him. She's questioning her feelings for him. She's questioning everything. No. But he asked you on a date for real now. Exactly. Oh, find the good. Oh, find the good. Make it rational, please. Uh. Okay. So this is where this is tough because, and this is kind of what I was fearing at the beginning, when they first started this, was that because so much of what she was saying about her processing her trauma with her ex-boyfriend that passed away was that he was kind of her lifeline. And so I was afraid that Henry would kind of become the same thing for her, and that he would kind of pull her out of that depression, but that it would be so dependent on him and not on her doing her own work to process through things, that if something were to happen, which of course it's going to because it's a book, that she is gonna spiral again. And that's basically exactly what is happening. But it's interesting because it's kind of less so the processing through the actual trauma of her ex-boyfriend passing away, and more so that she finally started to feel like she was desirable again, that she could be happy again, that she's actually liked herself for the first time in years. And now, because all of this is coming to light, she's like, oh, just kidding. It was all fake. I wasn't wanted. I wasn't considered. I wasn't desired. I was a favor. And yeah, that's just exactly what I was afraid was going to happen, because when you cuz there's a difference and a balance between somebody helping you to process and get to that point and you relying on them for that. So if this, which I definitely think it did, like this whole process helped her, process through things, but I think it became reliant on him liking her meant that she liked herself. So if he didn't like her, then she doesn't like herself. And so that's where it gets into that like tough territory, and that's why you don't have to be like, they even say it in the book. She's like, you don't have to have she says the S word, but she says, you don't have to have your crap together to be in love. And that's definitely true. Like, you don't have to be fully healed. You don't have to have everything down pat. Like, we're all humans. We're all imperfect people. But I think there is a level of healing and just a surety in yourself and your own identity that you should have before you get into a relationship. Because if you don't have that, then it's really easy to fall into the trap of the other person completing you or giving you meaning or whatever it is. So yeah, that's kind of just exactly what I was afraid was going to happen. But anyways, I will get off my soapbox now and I will continue to read. Okay, so she's not mad at Sonia, her roommate. She's a little bit mad at Jamie, but she's like, I'll get over it. Go be, because Sonia was comforting her. She's like, go be with her. It's fine. Like, it'll be fine. She's really just mad at Henry. Which is fair because he was kind of lying. But at the same time, she needs to talk to him, which of course will happen, but she just blocked his number, so. Shut the front door. That's actually so funny. She was just talking about how pissed off she is. And I was like, oh, she should go to a rage room. And then in my head, I was thinking, or you could go hit baseballs, because that's sometimes what I do. If I need to like let off steam or process things, I'll go hit baseballs. And she literally is like, I remember those nights at the batting cage in college when they would tell me to swing harder. She was like, I don't know where a batting cage is, but I have the second best thing, the rage room. I love that. Oh, wow. It's probably the one and only time I will, like, predict something accurately in books. I never really think too hard about it. I don't try to, like, guess what's gonna happen, because I just want to be immersed, you know? I've always wanted to go to a rage room. It sounds so fun. Because I love hitting baseballs, but it's the same thing and nothing breaks. You know, sometimes it's just satisfying for things to break. You know those videos on Instagram or whatever where I feel like they're usually targeted towards guys because they just love it. But I love it too. It's like when people have like a big like slab of ice or something and they drop it and it breaks into a bunch of different pieces. That's so satisfying, which I feel like would just be even more satisfying in a rage room because you're breaking stuff that shouldn't be broken in your real life. Oh, I want to do that so bad. Let's go. That was good though, because now she's realizing she doesn't need Henry to do her passion project. She can do it all on her own. They're meddling again. Sorry. The truth is, I'm in love with you. Okay, here we go. We're about to get into the weights. Let's go. Yeah! Cards on the table! Put your cards on the table! Oh. Oh. Okay, wait. I'm gonna keep reading and then I'll go back because this is so cute. Okay, skipping because they're making out now. Oh, cute. Okay, so that was so cute. So the friends meddled one last time and set it up for Henry to be on the roof and took her up there and basically forced them to talk to each other, which is hilarious. And she's obviously pissed off. He's like, please let me explain. And she's like, okay, tell me the truth. And so he finally goes into the truth of it all and basically just tells her that the initial date was like he lied to her on the first date because he didn't tell her that like he knew Jamie and that they like set it up that way, but then he was like everything after that was the truth, like all the feelings I've had for you, everything. And so then he's like, okay, fine, we're doing it. And he says, it's been absolutely addicting getting to know you. I've wanted you for longer than you think, and I couldn't risk losing you by telling you about what Jamie asked me to do. He's like, I didn't want you to regret anything. I wanted to do things right. She says, why should I believe you? He says, you should believe me because it took everything in my power not to kiss you 1,000 times since meeting you. He says, you should believe me because when Jamie told me you might have real feelings for me, I did an actual happy dance. That's the part that makes me so happy. I love that. That's so cute. And then he's a gentleman and he says, please believe me. Like, I'm sorry, but you have to believe me. But it matters what you want. He's like, this is what I want. I'm laying it out all out on the table. This is what I want. But if you say you never want to see me again, I will drop it. If you just want to be friends, I will drop it and we will never talk about this again. But what do you want? And she's like, okay, this is what I want. And then they start making out. Okay, but there's still quite a bit of book left, so I don't know what's going to happen. Honestly, I kind of love that. They're doing a date where they just are in their apartment and they order, which is probably a lot easier in New York because there's a lot of food in a short area or a small area, but they basically just order a bunch of food from different restaurants that are different cuisines and just like tried a bunch of things. So they've got like Filipino food and French food and Italian food and all the things, which is awesome. That's a fun date. This book is not clean, just for anybody that is curious. Had to skip over a couple parts there, but that was a really cute chapter of them just finally falling in love, basically, or admitting their love for each other. But something that this last page here just reminded me of, she was telling him a story about the time her and Sonia got caught texting each other during math and got their phones confiscated. And it just made me think about how crazy it is that there's so many like really important people in your life that have just missed like massive chunks of your life. And like obviously the more time you spend with somebody, the more stories are going to come out, the more you'll be able to tell them, the more that they'll learn. But it's so interesting, like even with me and my boyfriend, it's wild that because we've been dating for a year and a half, over a year and a half, coming on to up to 2 years, but which means that I started dating him when I was 26, or maybe I think I just turned 27, and so that's 26 years of my life that he wasn't a part of, which is crazy. Because then it's like, he never met my grandpa that passed away when I was in high school, which I think they would have loved each other. And like, he didn't see me in my awkward like short hair phase. And there's just like so many little things that you like don't really think about that. And what's crazy too is that all of those things make up who you are. Like, that is all the stories and the interactions and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's part of your story. And it's just so wild to think that like they don't know that or they haven't seen it before. But anyways, yeah, that was just another tangent. Surprise, surprise. Okay, that's growth. Good. She says that Henry just can't be my only source of happiness. I can't rely on him for that. Great, 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 great. Wow, that was actually really good. Dang. She says, Henry just can't be my only source of happiness. I can't rely on him for that. And then Sonia gives an analogy that's basically, she says, your soul is made up of a bundle of matches. They're not on fire, they're just sitting there. But matches want to be lit, and it's like a domino effect, and each match represents a different part of your life. And once one gets lit, then the rest will get lit. But she's basically been pouring water on the matches because she's afraid of the fire. She's afraid of it all getting lit. And she says Henry could be the thing that lights you up. So he's the first one that lights, but then it lights everything else up, which is pretty good. I kind of love that. She's finally got reminded of the wedding invite from her ex-best friend, I guess. She's like, how can I face them? That's true. Anything worth doing is at least a little bit scary. I think she's going to be pleasantly surprised at how they welcome her back in. Because she's basically saying that when she was dating Sam, the boyfriend that passed away, his family loved her. And they just made her feel like part of the family. And she's like, how are they going to react to me showing up again after having not talked to them for forever? How are they going to react to me bringing my new boyfriend? All the different things. But I think she's going to be pleasantly surprised. No! Uh... It's the lying, you guys. She RSVP'd to the wedding with a +1. Andy, whose wedding it is, texts her, says, just got the RSVP notification, you're coming with a +1. Who are you bringing? She types out a bunch of messages, doesn't send them because she can't figure out how to explain it. And then she says +1 is just a friend when they literally just had the conversation that they're officially boyfriend and girlfriend. I hate this. No, you have to go talk to... Oh, I hate this. No. He's gonna be mad. She's gonna be mad. She's gonna find out. Oh, gosh. No, you can't put that on them. Oh, she's gonna have a panic attack. Oh, this is gonna go bad. This is gonna go bad, you guys. Oh no. You gotta tell him before it gets worse. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. This is gonna be insane and dramatic. For those of you that have just joined, it's about to get crazy. uh, I'm getting to the point right now where I'm reading and I know it's about to get crazy, so I'm trying not to like skim too much or like read too fast that I'm missing stuff, but it's so hard. Oh no. Oh no. It's about to happen. Oof. Okay, she's telling him. She's telling him. She's telling him. That's good. Ooh. Nope, this is not good. Okay, okay. What? Okay, so she springs the truth on him at the last second, basically. And he's obviously upset, but then he says, "You know what? You're right. I don't want to be mad about this. This weekend is important to you, and I trust your judgment." Which, honestly, fair. And I hope that's genuine. But I think it's just like so unbelievable for me to that he actually reacted that way, and there's not going to be any fallout from this. I feel like it's going to make it harder for her that she's trying to hide this, Because now she's going to be on edge the whole time. No, don't tell him to lie too. No. No. Ugh. Don't. Oh, gosh. Please hold while I close my window. Someone's working on freaking metal work outside. What the heck? Oh, they're finally finishing our balcony. Oh my gosh, that's actually hilarious. They came and worked on our balcony at my apartment like months ago. Put a caution tape against our balcony door, didn't let us use the storage unit that's out there for a while, and then it got rainy, so then they stopped working on it, didn't come back for a while. We had to call the office and be like, hey, are they ever gonna come finish this? They came back and like basically finished it, but didn't fully finish it. Like, it's still, they left the caution tape up, and there's still masking tape on it, whatever. And then so I was just like, whatever, moved the caution tape, started using the storage unit again. And then we finally got a message recently that was like, oh yeah, they'll come and make sure that it's fine. Anyways, sorry. Hopefully you can't hear it too much anymore. It's right outside my window, so. But anyways, okay, here we go. They're at the wedding, and they're lying about how they met each other. They're lying that they're not boyfriend, girlfriend, that they're just friends. Here we go. Oh no, he forgot. Oh, whoopsies. Or maybe he's just doing it because he knows what it's doing to her. Oh gosh, okay. Because they were gonna lie about how they know each other. And now he's just telling the story naturally. Oh, nope, just kidding. It was a mistake. Oh, this is just like flying daggers of lies and pain. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oof, I think she just messed up big time. She's talking to the parents, and she's trying to make them feel better because she's trying to be Sam's Bennett for them because she thinks that that's what they want. But she's digging herself a hole with Henry. This is bad. Yeah. Oh no. She's gone and done it. One of the worst things that you could do is bring back up something that you have already forgiven somebody for, just to get even. He's like, sorry I messed up. Didn't exactly give me enough time to prepare for lying about our entire relationship. She said, it's not that hard. You did lie to me for months, remember? Ooh, and then he says, I think you want to be miserable because you're afraid to be happy. Oh. Mm-hmm. 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 Call her out. No, he did not push you. Mm-hmm. I think he's so right. He says, it took me seeing all this to really understand you, and I think you really meant it. I think what you said to Sam's mom, which she said, sorry, please hold. She told the mom, he's the love of my life and I don't think I'll ever stop loving him. With him I was the best version of myself. He's the only person who has ever really seen me. Sometimes I feel like I'll never know love like that again. Even if I'm with someone else, I'll never feel that way again. So then Henry's saying, I think you meant it, what you said to her, that you don't want to move on. If that's the case, I don't know where that leaves us. Which is honestly fair. I mean, no. One of my least favorite phrases ever in the whole world is that's just who I am. Like, no. That is the lamest excuse I've ever heard. It's oh. Oh, that was like the most heartbreaking but like unclimactic breakup ever. Oh my gosh, because he's basically like, this has been revealing, very revealing for me. It's clear that you don't really want to move on, that you don't want to be happy, and that's just not going to work because I deserve to be happy. And so he was like, I'll keep up the facade through the end of the weekend so that they don't ask questions, but I can't do this. I think what's going to happen though is because her and Andy, who's getting married, I think they're going to catch up, I think, after the wedding on Sunday morning. And I have a feeling that everything's going to come out in that conversation and she's going to have this like epiphany, or like Andy's going to basically forgive her or release her from all this stuff that she's assuming the family of her former boyfriend is like holding her to, of like they need her to be Sam's Bennett and not just Bennett, not just who she is. So anyways, yeah, this is crazy. Oof. uh wow. Oh, weddings always make me cry. Not always, but most of the time, let's be honest. Oh, that was so cute. Oh, okay. Henry just left. After the wedding, he was like, there's no point in me being here anymore. And that was basically their goodbye. Like they're done cuz she's just not ready, and it's okay, here we go. Chapter 32. The fact that Andy is meeting her for coffee then the morning after she got married is crazy. I could never. I'd want to be in bed snuggling with my new husband. Only exception would be if we had church. Oh, wow. Okay, so what I thought was gonna happen happened, and they made up with each other. I'm feeling a little bit of whiplash with this book. Just because it's, I don't know, she's like so back and forth, and it's kind of annoying a little bit. But we're almost done, so. Oh. She kept the baseball. That's so cute. When her and Andy used to have fights, they had this one big fight, and one of them, I can't remember which one started it, but they took a baseball and wrote "I'm sorry, I love you" on it in red Sharpie, and then that's how they would like apologize to each other. They'd pass it back and forth whenever they needed to. And she'd kept it all this time, and she slipped it in her bag when she left. Oh my gosh. Okay, so she just went into she made up with her friend Andy, and she came back to New York, and she went to Yankee Stadium cuz that was Sam's team. And she meets this maintenance guy that lets her into the field, and so she basically realized that she needs to she's like been going through the process of forgiving Andy and Sonia and the Chases and Henry, but she hasn't asked forgiveness for herself or for Sam. Like, she hasn't welcomed the memory of him in a really, really long time. She always just tried to push it away because she didn't know how to deal with it. And now she's finally doing it. So she is sitting on home plate in Yankee Stadium, and she's finally going to talk to him. Ooh. Oh, wow. That was beautiful. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I feel like she's finally going to start processing everything and healing from things. Oh, that's so cute. She's kind of like recreating the first time they met each other in the restaurant. She like called in a favor from one of his coworkers. Oh. It's true. You're the only one that can fix you. And Jesus, but. Oh, that's so cute. The final piece, I mean, she obviously does a whole love confession, but the final piece is when they first met, he made a bet with Sarah, his coworker, that he would see her again, and he won that bet. And so she uh references that bet, and then she says, I bet, she starts with, I bet you don't know that I'm in love with you, and then she says a bunch of other things, and then she finishes with, I bet you love me too. And he takes the $20 bill off the counter, thinks about it for a second. She says, what do you think? Do I win the bet? And then he's starting to tear up a little bit. He says, you win the bet. He says, of course you win the bet. uh, Cute. Okay. Now that was like technically the last chapter, and now we've got a chapter October 1 year later. Aw, cute. So he's growing his photography business and he's close to going full-time photography, and she found a passion for psychology and she wants to become a grief counselor someday. Oh, cute. He got another tattoo and it was a $10 bill. To always bet on each other. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Oh, cute. Done. I finished it. Wow, that was so cute. Okay, I'll wait for you to get back to explain it. And also would love to hear how you're doing, what you've been up to since last I saw ya. Oh, that was so cute. I liked that book. While I wait, let me update my Goodreads. Goodreads and Fable. Those are the two apps that I use. Aw, yay. I'm so glad I finished that. Ooh, okay. What to rate it? Okay, the one thing I don't like about Goodreads is that you can't give partial stars. It has to be one or the other. I feel like I think I'm gonna give it a 4 on Goodreads, because typically I save 5s for books that I would read again. And this one's kind of right on the cusp for me. Like, I think I would read it again, but I don't know. Like, it was super fun, but it also kind of gave me whiplash a little bit, and so that's why I would give it a 4. But I think for when I do it on Fable, I think I'll give it like a 4.5, because I did like it a little bit more than a 4, I think. Mark is finished. Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5 on this. I think Fable's fun too, because on the I don't know if you can see it. Is it too bright? Oh, wait, there we go. On the reviews, you can like put like little emojis or whatever, which is cute. Yeah, spicy. I like that too, actually. Fable, you can do reviews, and you can say like how it made you feel. You can say how spicy it is, which is nice, because this one did have some explicit scenes. So they have 4 stages, which is no spice, no suggestive dialogue, some spice, which is closed door but some suggestive dialogue but no explicit intimate scenes. Spicy is open door romance with some explicit descriptions of intimacies, and extra spicy is open door romance with strong emphasis on explicit intimate encounters. So this one was a little bit spicy. I skipped through those parts. Welcome back. I'm just going through, I'm filling out my like reviews and stuff on Goodreads and Fable. So I'm just talking about the different things that you can enter on Fable. So I rated it 4.5 because and this is probably not how everybody is, but for me, my reviews, or when I do ratings, 5 stars is typically for any book that I would absolutely read again. So a lot of those are like books that I have in my collection and things like that. And this one, like, I think I would read it again, but I wouldn't be like the first one that I would go for. And so that's why I would give it a little bit less. But on Goodreads, you can't do like half stars or anything. So I gave it a 4 on Goodreads, but I gave it a 4.5 on Fable. And then on Fable, when you do reviews, you can do like how it makes you feel, and then you can do the spicy rating, which is nice because, again, I will say this. I think I said this in one of my earliest streams that I think books should have like content warnings basically, or like ratings, kind of like movies do. And I know that you can read reviews and stuff online, but I never want to do that for worry of getting like spoilers and stuff. But I do kind of like, I think with Fable, that you can kind of make like the tags so then you can see what it is, which maybe I need to start utilizing that more before I start a book. But this one was so they have the 4 stages of that, of the spicy. So like none is like PG, no suggestive dialogue or like descriptions or whatever. And then like some is closed door, so there's nothing explicit, but there's some suggestive stuff. And then spicy is there's some explicit scenes, and then extra hot or whatever is like, that's kind of one of the more of the focus. So this one was a little bit spicy. There was a couple scenes that I just there's a couple scenes that I just skipped through. And then let's see, how would I describe this book? See, this is so cool, and I don't do this for a lot of the books, but for Fable, I like their review format because it actually like asks you questions, and so it says, how would you describe this book? You can do characters, plot, setting, writing style, content warnings, that kind of thing. So I do kind of love that. I think I can go change my review later, so I'll get into more of the weeds there, but yeah, so that review is done. But yeah, this book was really cute. I feel like the concept was really cute. I loved the passion project, trying a bunch of new activities, doing fun things. It was definitely felt like a little bit of whiplash at times because it was so much back and forth of her feeling like, I don't know, like trying to process through things and feeling like she's ready, but then she's not ready, and then she's ready, and then she's not ready, and then she's lying, and then she's telling the truth. And it was just a lot of back and forth. So that was kind of the most annoying piece of it for me, was just the lying aspect, which is always something that I am never a huge fan of. But like I said earlier in my stream, that's one of the most realistic, I'd say, things that happens, of like people sometimes just lie, and there's a bunch of different reasons why people lie. And sometimes lying is just lies of omission, and sometimes it's orchestrated, all the different things. But that was the one thing that was kind of like, it was just really frustrating. But super cute, made me laugh, made me cry. I definitely would recommend it. Not closed door, so just keep that in mind. You can skip those. It wasn't very much, so you can just skip, pretty easy to skip those parts. But I liked it. I liked the characters. I liked the premise. I liked the side characters too. That's something that I always appreciate about books, and I actually think that that's an important factor in books, especially romance books, when you have side characters and like best friends that support the main character, and they do a really good job of being friends and showing love and supporting, but also kind of calling them out on their bullcrap. Because sometimes that's just necessary, and that's how real life should be too. Like, you should have friends that will like call you up and help you grow and all the different things. So yeah, that was The Passion Project by London Sperry. I don't think... Oh, okay. This is her first novel. The London Sperry is a New York-based author of romantic comedies, lover of storytelling. Finding her true passion for writing, Passion Project is her first novel. I love that. That's so cute. And this was a Book of the Month book, so... Yes, absolutely agree with you on that. Yeah, I think there's definitely been... I mean, there's books that don't have side characters that I think are still good, for sure. But I think when a book has good side characters, I feel like it just puts it on the next level. And I love that for them. I think that's so fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm on 2.5 hours of streaming. I went into this stream knowing that I wanted to finish this book, and I knew it would probably be a little bit longer, but I I'm one of those people that I'm getting better, but I struggle to sometimes start things if I know I can't finish it, which for books sometimes means that I love books with shorter chapters because it means that I can read chapters even if I don't have time, because I hate starting a chapter and not having enough time to finish it, so then I just won't even start it. And so sometimes that means it takes me a long time to read the book. But I knew I was close enough to the end that I could probably finish it within a decent amount of time, but I was, it was a good chunk, so I knew it'd be a little bit of a longer stream, but it was worth it because that book was so. I ended up reading it in 3 sections, but ooh, how do I choose my next read? Great question. It kind of depends. It depends on if I'm in a slump. It depends on if I'm in a particular mood. I'm definitely a mood reader. So if I'm not in the mood for something, I won't want to read it. Right now, the last couple books I've been choosing to read on stream, at least because I am also somebody that will sometimes read multiple books at a time. So I'll have a book that I'll be reading on stream, and then I'll have a book that I'll be reading like before I go to bed. But for the books that I've been reading on stream, I have been trying to work my way through my book of the month books because I have a whole stack of books that I got from book of the month and just haven't read them yet. And so that's what I've been working through. And so I kind of just will, grab a couple of them that I think sound interesting, and I'll read the synopsis and then choose from there. But actually, okay, wait, let me go grab a couple, and I will, if you want to hang out with me for a couple more minutes, I will pick my next read right here on this stream. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, these are the books. I'm holding them the wrong way. These are the books that I have yet to read. Oh, yes, that would be awesome. I would love to read your short story. That's something that I actually kind of want to get into, is writing a little bit more. And I actually have, if you want to, I just started a Substack last week. I don't know if you've heard of Substack, but it's like kind of email newsletter, but also like mixed with social media a little bit, but it's like a place where you can post articles and you can post like shorter things like social media and kind of scroll through, and you can get you can like send things to like email subscribers and all the different things. But anyways, I wanted to just start creating more, and I really want to get back into writing because I've always really liked writing, and I've written quite a bit of poetry, and I've done some writing especially back in school, and I've always really liked it. So I posted my first article on Substack. My like username or whatever is the same. It's Time to Laugh 34. And I actually started an Instagram as well that I'm still very new to all of the content creation stuff. So I don't really have it fully built out, but it's the same. My Instagram is timetolaugh.34 because I wanted to have everything be pretty uniform. But I have the link to my Substack in the bio of that Instagram. And then I don't know if I can add, I think I can add another link to my Twitch channel, like bio or whatever. So maybe I'll add it there too. But that's another, if you want to read some of my writing, I want to try to post at least once a week there. I don't know if I'll do like full short stories, but if I do, I could probably add links there. But yeah, if you want to drop the link to a short story, I'd love to read it and get you some feedback. That'd be awesome. I will say I'm not qualified necessarily to give feedback, but like, I'm absolutely willing to give feedback just as a reader. and, you know, just different thoughts and things like that. But, so these are the books from Book of the Month. Sorry, there we go. That I have yet to read. And they've just been sitting happily on my bookshelf. I actually had a little bit of an issue with the last time I tried to pick a book from here. I had gotten a couple, like I think these are 2 other ones, which is so funny how you can literally tell that like these ones that are more colorful covers are probably going to be romances or more kind of upbeat, happy things. And then these ones are more like psychological or just, you know, because they're muted and whatever. And so before I started the Passion Project book, I was looking at different books and was like, okay, maybe let's try reading something that's a little bit different, like a different vibe, not a romance. And so I ended up picking this book called Among Friends. And I read like 60 pages, I think, and like basically did a whole stream reading that book, and it just was not great. Like the writing itself wasn't bad necessarily. It was a little bit, it felt a little bit try hard, like he was really trying to be like literary fiction and like write a classical book kind of. But it just felt really disjointed. So it was kind of hard to read, kind of hard to get into. But really what made me not enjoy it was that it was so depressing. Like the characters, they all had their issues, but like the way that they were talking, the way that they were interacting with each other, it was just rough. And so I read 60 pages of it, and I ended and I was like, okay, I felt bad after reading it, and I never want to feel that way when I'm reading. Like obviously there's some books that are going to make me cry, or there's some books that are going to make me, you know, think about my life and all the different things, make me introspective, but I never want to like feel heavy and bad after reading a book, and that's kind of how I felt. And so I decided to look into reviews of the book, which I don't always do. Like I actually rarely read reviews, just because 1, I don't want to see spoilers, and 2, I don't want to go into books having a certain like prejudice against it. I want to just go into it open-minded. And so I typically don't, but I went in because I had already read some of it. I went in and started reading some reviews, and they were there. Most of them were not great. Like it wasn't good. And then I eventually realized that one of the reviews kind of gave a spoiler, but it was a kind of a big one, because in the synopsis of the book, it says that there's like this big, you know, thing that comes to light, or something that happens, and there's like a bunch of conflict. But then in the review, it told me what that was, and I was like, yeah, I'm not reading this, because it was something that is kind of illegal. Like sexual abuse and things like that. So I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I ended up DNFing it, did not finish it, which I rarely do. I think there's maybe been 2 or 3 books in my whole life that I've DNF'd. But also, I get a lot of my book recommendations from people, so that lends itself a little bit more to not ever DNFing a book. But anyways, I'm rambling at this point. So these 2 I probably won't read. I mean, I will read them eventually. I just don't know if I want to read them on stream, because for streaming purposes, I just feel like reading something that is more upbeat or just has more going on is just better. Yes, okay, see, that's good. I want people to start putting warnings and stuff, because that can be really triggering for people. Like if you don't know that there's going to be sexual abuse in a book, or you don't know that there's going to be, you know, all these things, you get into it and then you're like, oh my gosh. And then it, you know, brings up all this stuff. And if you're not fully healed from something like that, that can be really hard to then process through. I do understand that people will write about things like that because maybe they have gone through it and that's their way of process, or that's their way of kind of, sharing their story and relating to people. And I do know that even if you've gone through that, if you're healed from it, that can be a way to see yourself in literature. And I think that's what's so beautiful about books, is that we get to find little pieces of ourselves in these fictional characters. And there's definitely been times where I have felt that and been able to relate to characters, and it's actually helped me realize certain things, or bring some things up that I didn't really realize how I felt about something or whatever. And so I think that that's the beauty of books and writing in general. But I do think that content warnings and things should be required for books, because that can be a dangerous thing. And I don't think you can rely on people doing reviews or, word of mouth to communicate those content warnings. I think that they should be like in the, like on the dust jacket or in the synopsis or something. Like, I think you can do it without giving away the big points, but just putting content warnings in there. But anyways, I digress again. So, these ones I will sorry about that. These ones, again, I will definitely read at some point, but I think for stream, maybe not. So I'll put those ones to the side for now. Let's see. I know these two were definitely ones that were in the running for this last one before I chose the Passion Project. This one, I don't think it's a romance book. It's called The Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. I do love music, so that one could be kind of fun, but since I do have a friend with me right now, is there one of these you think, or would you want me to read the synopsises and kind of tell you like what the gist is, and you can help me decide? Because that's so fun. I mean, obviously I can make the decision, but it's fun to include people. Or I have this one too, the Silver Elite. And this one I think is more of it's like a fantasy, which I haven't read a fantasy on here yet. I've mostly just been reading romance. So if that's something that you'd want me to do too, I could do that. But yeah, so I'll just give little snippets of like what these books are about, and then you can maybe help me decide. So the girl is going through heartbreak, basically. She has this bed and breakfast that she's running. And she's asking her landlord to stay for free in exchange for renting out the houses. And they agree, and then they find themselves dancing around each other, and then obviously they become connected, and, love ensues. First time caller is, the guy is a, romance hotline, like radio host, basically. And a young girl calls into the station asking for dating advice. And then she like gets thrust into the limelight because she calls in for dating advice for her mom. And then they end up, like, everybody's now talking about her love life, and then, of course, they probably end up falling in love with each other. But the top of this one says, a hopeless romantic meets a demoralized radio host in this cozy, sleepless in Seattle-inspired love story. Which, that's kind of cute. And then this one, the Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits. The Griffin Sisters were the soundtrack of the early 2000s until suddenly they weren't. Two sisters bonded by music, divided by fame, silenced by tragedy. Now, 20 years later, a new generation will try to reunite them. Can the love between sisters survive the secrets that remain? So that's that one. Silver Elite. In the first book of a sizzling dystopian romance series, psychic gifts are a death sentence, and there are rules to survival. Trust no one, lie to everyone, and whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. Sounds like there might be a little bit of romance in this one, but that one's definitely more, magic and all that kind of stuff. And then I do have this one. This one's called My Friends by Frederick Backman. The world is full of miracles, but none greater than how far a young person can be carried by someone else's belief in them. Frederick Backman's signature charm, humor, and attention to the poignant details of everyday life are on full display in this funny, moving novel. His most heartfelt and personal tale yet, My Friends is a stunning testament to the transformative, timeless power of art and friendship. That sounds kind of fun, too. Ooh, now I'm torn. I don't know. Maybe I should try something a little bit different. I don't know. Skull Gamer, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts for me? Any ones that stick out? Maybe I will see if any of the... I'll just look at the ratings, like the star ratings of them. Okay, try something new. I love it. Great. Let me look at the ratings of... I'll look at the ratings of these three and see... I'll just look at the stars on them and see what the... Griffin Sisters. Okay, Griffin Sisters has a 3.83 with 45,000. 3.83. Frederick, My Friends, has a 4.36 with 407,000. That's a lot. Okay. And then Silver Elite has a 4.10 with 138,000. Okay. I love that. Let's see. Right? I know. It's pretty short too, so that would be a fun little, like, cute one. I'll definitely read that one. Maybe I'll pick a different one for this next book that I read, but then this one will be my next one. So I'll leave it on my shelf here so that I can remember that that's what I'm going to read next. Okay. So I think I'm going to do either this one or this one. Which one do you think? Should I do this one, which is a little bit more like literary fiction, friendship, or this one, which is a little bit more fantasy, magic? Oh, I don't know. This one also is a series. It's the first in a series, so... Oh, I don't know. Let's see if there's ratings on Fable and see if which one has more. Because as of this one, I think fantasy and magical, amazing. You're making it easy on me, and I love it. That's great. Okay. Next stream, we will dive into this also. I love, because Book of the Month, they gave you like the little special version with the... Oh, that's always a good question. Am I ready to start a series? Wait, let's see if all of the books are out. I feel like that's always a good question for me too. Let's see. Silver Elite. Because I think I am ready to start a series, because I actually do really enjoy reading series, but the question is whether I would want to read all of the series on stream. I think it would maybe depend on how I feel about the first book. Because I'm also, I mean, unless it ends on an insane cliffhanger, if I don't like it a ton, then I would probably just stop reading the series. But okay, let's see. The Silver Elite. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like the second book of the series is coming out May 12th, 2026. So we'd have a couple months until the second, which actually could be kind of fun. If I read it now, it's not so far in the future that I would forget everything about this, but then that would give me some time to read some other books in between, and then when the second one comes out, I could read it. That's kind of a fun idea. Or should I wait until a little bit sooner? Me just trying to process through, figure out what I'm going to read. This is so funny. Very me, though, I feel like. Oh, that's so funny. I mean, I'm sure it will end on a cliffhanger since there's a second book, but let's see. 4.10. Okay, let me fully read the synopsis really quick and remember. Okay, I'm sold. It does sound actually really interesting. Okay, I think I'm gonna read this one for my next stream. That's when I'll start it. So if you want to come back, I'm my goal right now is to stream every Monday at 10 a.m. And I usually end up going from like 10 to noon. Obviously, like this stream, I go a little bit longer. If pushing the time back a little bit would be helpful for some people so they can tune in a little bit easier, let me know. But that's kind of been my, I like the Monday morning reading nook has been kind of fun. Last week I wasn't able to stream on Monday because I had to work, so I worked Monday and had Tuesday off. But yeah, that's kind of been my, yeah, Pacific time. Yeah, I live in Washington State, so that's when I stream Mondays at 10 a.m. So if you want to come back, I will start this book next time. And then if you want to drop a link to your short story, I would love to read it. And I'll try to read it this week. And then, oh, cool. Nice. But yeah, I'll try to read it this week. And then if you come back for a next stream, I will, perfect. I will try to, we can chat about it. I can hopefully give you some feedback or some thoughts or just tell you if I enjoyed it or not. So that would be super fun. Okay, I think that was everything for today. Coming up on 3 hours, my goodness. But had so much fun. Thank you for oh, awesome. Okay, amazing. That makes me even more excited about it. Good. Awesome. Okay, well, that is everything for today, you guys. Thank you, Slow Gamer, for chatting with me and for just dropping into the stream. I'm having so much with these streams. I'm still very new to the whole process, but I'm having a lot of fun. And yeah, if you have any friends that you think would like it, let them know. Definitely just follow me if you'd like to see what I'm up to. And you can follow me on Instagram and follow me on Substack, all the different things. But yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Thanks, guys.